I'm sorry to say it, and I don't want to be that guy, but I'm sick to death of superhero films. I'm just absolutely done with them now. But either way, I went in seeing Doctor Strange, and I kind of went in with a very neutral viewpoint. I went in thinking, oh, it's going to be average. I'm kind of just sick to death already. But I came out pleasantly surprised by what I'd watched. I did enjoy this film quite a bit, but it's not without its Marvel flaws. And Marvel has just a genius way of putting the exact same flaws in every single film it makes. So, Doctor Strange is directed by Scott Derrickson, and it stars Benedict Cumberbatch as the titular character, Doctor Strange. It also stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rachel McAdams, Benedict Wong, Tilda Swinton, and Mads Mikkelsen. It's a superhero origin story, and Doctor Strange is a rather different superhero to the majority of your Captain Americas and your Ant-Mans and all those. He's pretty different. Doctor Strange was actually a doctor, a real-life doctor. He was a neuroscientist, and he was working on the brains, and he was really good with his... And he's really just an arrogant prick. There is no nicer way to say things. He was a horrible, arrogant person. And then he goes in a really bad car crash and he loses all feeling in his hands, and he tries loads and loads of different experimental ways to cure himself, and he eventually ends up at a spiritual temple in Kathmandu. Now in Kathmandu there is this also spiritual world sort of thing, and there he discovers Tilda Swinton, and the entire Doctor Strange film begins as he slowly gains these magical powers. So the good thing about this film is it builds a completely new world, and that is something that Marvel is really, really good at. It's really good at intriguing you and bringing you right into a new world and making you feel like you've been there for ages. That is probably what Marvel is the best at. New IPs are something Marvel can do, but they all seem to have the same faults, and this, again, has those same faults. Benedict Cumberbatch is a really entertaining character, and for that, you really attach to him and like him. Even though he is arrogant and he is a horrible person, you attach to him and you like him as a character. He is not someone you dislike. Again, Benedict Cumberbatch plays a really, really good role. Benedict Cumberbatch just shows himself to be fantastic over and over again. In fact, the entire cast is really good, especially props to Tilda Swinton, Rachel McAdams, and Chiwetel Ejiofor, all of which play fantastic roles and do not let this film down at all. The cast is all fantastic, and it's all surrounded by an amazing world that's built up, and that is again props to CGI. Disney have got CGI down. Hands down, they dominate CGI now. From The Jungle Book to Star Wars to every single big release they've had this year, they have got CGI on point. You were not seeing any films top this. Fox tried to top it with X-Men, it just looked horrendous. And loads of other companies have tried to rival Disney's CGI, but they just cannot, and this just proves how amazing they are. Doctor Strange is one of the best looking films of the year so far, and for that reason alone, I was drawn into this world even more. This is not a world which is very much grounded in reality. Yes, it tries to ground things in reality, but it doesn't do it very well because the world is just insane. And I mean insane. You have got Inception-like events. You've got glass shattering everywhere. There are CGI in this that is just beyond amazing. The circular ring things that I've got a picture of also look amazing. Everything in this film looks amazing, and it draws you into this world even more and more. Nothing feels out of place. Everything feels like the CGI is done to a point where I am very, very happy with what's happening. So where does it really fall? Well, it falls in the typical way that every single Marvel film falls. It has loads and loads of really good set pieces, things that work really well on their own. In Civil War, we had the just amazing airport sequence. In Ant-Man, we had a couple of really good fight scenes and one or two good heist scenes. In this, we've got some amazing battles and some amazing CGI that really works together. Plus, not only that, we do have some really good emotional moments, especially one with Benedict Cumberbatch and Tilda Swinton, which is just hands down probably one of the best Marvel scenes we've seen in a while. But when you put it all together in this big package, it doesn't work that well. We're just kind of led to these really, really cool set pieces, and the rest of it's just filler. And not only that, some of these set pieces aren't that interesting in this film. Yes, you do have multiple action pieces which are fantastic, but the overall plot of this film is kind of dragged down by this villain which isn't well explored. So Mads Mikkelsen plays this villain. He's got these weird eyes and he's basically the master of dark arts, and in that sense, it's very much like Star Wars. In fact, I'm not even sure whether it's purposely done, but there are so many Star Wars references. At one point, I'm pretty confident one of the characters goes, "We can't do that, you'll send him over to the dark side." Not only that, it doesn't always use imaginative plots. Yes, the villain is the main issue here in the fact that it's just a generic villain, we don't know anything about him, we're not really shown any character development, we can't attach to this villain, we don't really hate the villain, he's just a villain and he just feels like a minion, much like every Marvel villain. If you can name, in fact in the comments below, can you name me, just prove me wrong here, a good Marvel villain? Because honestly, Besides the Green Goblin, that's my only thinking exception. I can't really think of another villain that Marvel has done to that extent. The most badass villain Marvel actually has is Thanos, and he's been in it for like 5 minutes max. But the CGI and the world it builds are all really fun and really entertaining. And Benedict Cumberbatch is a character you just want to love. And everyone in this film is a character you just want to love and see more of. But this film is by no means a fantastic film. It's a Marvel film. I'm bored of Marvel films because they just use the same things over and over again. That doesn't mean it's boring. That doesn't mean it's a bad film, because it's a fantastically well-made film and it's a fantastically well-acted film. But what it does mean is it doesn't do anything new. Yes, the CGI is good, but really that's the biggest positive in this entire film. I don't want to see this continuous repeat of plot points over and over again. Marvel needs to shake things up, and yes, they thought Guardians of the Galaxy was going to do that, and it kind of did, but even by the trailers we're seeing for that now, they're just going to repeat the exact same thing over and over again. Marvel knows how to make money, and they will exploit that to the death. Doctor Strange is a perfect example of that. It's not a bad film, but it's nothing special. I'm going to give Doctor Strange 3.5 stars out of 5. Well, if you enjoyed that, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe, and as I said, comment below if you know a Marvel villain that's actually good, because honestly, I can't think of one. And while you're here, why don't you check out some of the other reviews I've done. I've got reviews of Ouija and Jack Reacher all right here. Not only that, we also have a review of The Accountant coming up later this week, and a Halloween special, as well as more new releases, because My Week in Media is exactly where you should be for all these new releases. My name is Dawson, and this is obviously My Week in Media.